think we're freaking good. So, kind of didn't really stick to my goal of lifting at a reasonable hour, but what are you gonna do? So, 10:37. Luckily my first class tomorrow got delayed to a Zoom class, so I get an extra hour of sleep. Perfect. But let's focus on what really matters is what am I gonna do to obliterate my legs tonight? How am I gonna go about thoroughly, efficiently, and intensely thrashing the fuck out of my quads and hamstrings? Hamstrings, I already know. It's going to be okay, I guess I don't know for sure. Definitely going to start off with some kind of leg curl, probably just seated. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll do the thing where I stand on the leg extension backwards and do single leg curls. Now, in video, when I'm actually looking at the reps, they really don't look super complete. But when I'm doing those single leg curls on the leg extension, I feel a fucking crazy squeeze on the top. So I most certainly recommend it. It's purely due to the fact that it's just a new fucking movement. And what happens if, like, let's say not even because it's a fucking awesome movement, whatever. What happens if the hamstring curl's taken at your gym? Are you just going to sit around and wait for it? Or are you going to say, all right, well, I'll do a substitution movement. I'll do something else. The last thing I want to do is just sit around, lose my pump, maybe get out of the zone mid lift. Like, I'll just pick a new movement. It's not, I'm not insanely picky. Obviously, I mean, half of the time I move on to a new exercise. I don't say which one it's going to be. I just say some shit like, well, let's move on to fucking something else. I got no idea. I will say sometimes I'll wait for a machine if it's the beginning of the lift. Like, let's say I'm about to do chest and I want to do incline Smith machine as the first movement. I'm not pumped yet. I'm still getting warmed up. I'll wait like maybe 15 minutes just to get started. But if it's mid lift and I think to myself, okay, I want to use the incline Smith, and then it's taken, well then shit, man, I'm just shit out of luck. I'll move on to something else. But it doesn't fucking, it doesn't really bother me. I can just do a movement as a substitution, which I know I'm still gonna fucking thrash my chest with. But one benefit of going to the gym at a freaking unreasonable hour is I'm not even gonna have to worry about dealing with waiting for equipment. The gym's gonna be fucking dead. But hamstrings is gonna be just leg curls, either seated, single leg standing on the leg extension backwards, and I might throw in some RDLs. I think I'm gonna throw in some RDLs. Not super heavy. If you seriously push RDLs, I mean, you're just gonna end up activating your glutes. Like, you almost won't be able to help it. And then you'll get your lower back working. I mean, for me, RDLs is a bit more of a squeezing movement. Like, I want to go heavy. I want to do as much weight as I can do. But once I start feeling it in my glutes, I know that's too much. So, I'll just do an even, well, maybe not even an even mix of those three, but I'll figure it out. And then once hamstrings are sufficiently worked, I'll move on to quads, which, primary fucking movement is going to be leg extensions. But I'm going to try to throw in some other shit as well. I'm not a massive fan of the fucking leg press. Like, especially not the hammer strength leg press, the classic one that's it's at every Planet Fitness. It's got the 4 weight posts, 2 on either side. It's just like linear. I don't really love it. I used to do it a lot when I started out, but I don't know. I just kind of strayed away from it. Not saying it's bad. I'm just giving you my preference. I do. There is one leg press I do kind of like. It sort of pivots. It's like a Nautilus leg press, I think. Maybe I'll throw some of those in today. I'm not exactly sure. But I'm going to chill out on any seriously heavy loading, at least in terms of like barbell squats. Oh, so I've been chilling out on squats this bulk, or well, what am I talking? Last bulk, because I kept tweaking my adductors. I'd go like super heavy and then I'd Like I wouldn't have a pull, like I wouldn't like pull my shit, but I could tell they were just like really sore. Enough to the point where the next leg day where I try to squat, I'd feel it enough that I would say, okay, no, we're done. Let's just skip. No more squats. We'll move on to some other movements. So once I finish quads, probably a mix of leg extensions, sissy squats, maybe some leg press, maybe some stack loaded machine leg press. Once that's all done, I'm definitely gonna fucking start adding adductors in. Oh, and then speaking of adding muscles in, for the cut, I'm gonna add forearms and shoulders and calves into the routine. Purely due to the fact that I want to fucking stimulate all the muscles on my frame to maintain all the freaking muscle I built on the bulk. I'm not saying if you were to like, well, I guess I sort of am saying like if you skipped a muscle for an entire dieting period, I'm not gonna say it's gonna just like shrink down and lose a ton of size, but it's definitely gonna weaken. It would make sense that you want to hit everything. I'd back off on shoulders because, on the bulk at least, because I don't need them getting like too big. They're already sort of leading proportionally to everything else. Like, especially in a back double bicep flex for me, the shoulders are really poking out. I've been skipping calves for the last, honestly, like 2 months just because I'm lazy. So I'm going to throw those in at the end of every lift as well. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but for me with calves, I'll go on little bits of month-long hiatuses on it, but pretty much at the end of every lift, when I'm actually doing them, I'll just do 8 sets of single leg calf raises. Now that could be on, the leg press. Just throw 2 plates on, do one leg at a time, or the seated. I honestly love the seated calf raise, where it's got the weight in front of you, like, and the weights are moving like this. You know what I'm talking about? That one's good. The standing one where you get the pads on your shoulders, I don't really love that one. For me, I don't really like doing calves both legs at a time because something about like my ankles or my knees, just something about them, I always end up feeling my right calf working more. So for me, I just like doing one at a time, even though it does take twice as long. But if you've just been skipping calves chronically, fucking at least try to throw them into the routine. My bro science logic, this is the shit I'll always hear from the old guys, is they say that calves are a stubborn muscle. You fucking work them every day when you're just walking around in life. Of course they're used to it. So hitting them every day, hypothetically, was their method of giving them some stimulation that would cause some growth. So if you've done calves once a week for a while, and you do think you have small calves, just fucking try to throw them in at the end of each lift. It only takes like another 20 minutes. And I'm not even like, maybe I'm saying this because like my calves aren't that small, so I'm not so diligent with my training of them. But, I'm just fucking scrolling between TikTok, in between sets, just pump them out, get a burn. You don't have to brace for a set of calf raises. All you do is sit there and burn out. But you're probably skipping them. You're probably skipping calves. You're probably skipping cardio. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I can't force you to do it. So enough chit chat. Let's just freaking get in there and get started. All right. So after an extensive hamstring warm up. Well, actually, I didn't even start off with hamstrings. I did like 3 sets of, like, not real sets, but just 5 reps of single leg extensions. Just because if I don't warm up my calves before doing heavy hamstring curls, the inside of my knee, like the back of my knee, like the knee pit, I'll get kind of some tightness back there. But if I warm up my calves before, I never do. And then I sat here with like 100 pounds, bounced it around, a little heavier, a little heavier, heavier, heavier. I'm not just jumping straight into a crazy amount of weight. I'm easing into it. I'm exposing myself to it. But I'm not doing any fatigue in the process. Oh. Oh. Okay. Dude, fuck, I'm gonna sit here for like 5 more. Okay. Hard to beat fucking seated leg curls, I tell you. Oh, fuck. Okay, I think one more, and then I'll do something else. Okay. Let's do some fucking single leg shit. All right, so like I was hinting at in the car, let's do some single leg, reverse leg extension, hamstring curls. Now again, I mean, I just did 8 sets of the whole fucking stack on the seated leg curl, right? I think I've hit my hamstrings with heavy weight sufficiently for this lift. So now I want to burn them out and fucking pump them up. So I'm gonna sit here lightweight, reasonably controlled. Like I'm not just gonna bounce it around like I was just doing over there. But, you know, again, with this sort of set, you're not gonna reach failure like physically. Like you're not gonna reach a point where you just can't even move the weight from the bottom. You're gonna be able to do partials, which get gradually and gradually smaller. So that's where you gotta dig deep in your fucking mind. But I think I'm just gonna finish off with 3 more sets of these. Okay. All right, you know what? That felt pretty good, but I think I want to finish with a set of single leg on the seated hamstring curl instead. All right, definitely no need for the whole stack. Well, I think just 130 will be good. Perfect. Now, I will tell you this. I find it to be incredibly annoying to do single leg curls on a seated machine if you don't know this one hack. Just think about this. If I'm doing the right leg, I can just put my left leg to the side, totally out of the way, perfect. But when you're doing reps with your left leg, let's make the weight light just to demonstrate. You got basically 2 options that immediately come to mind. You either have your right leg sit down here and you limit your range of motion, you fucking hit yourself, or you keep your right leg fucking up here in the air, and like I guess that's not that bad, but then you gotta hold it up. It's just kind of fucking annoying. So when I do these, I sort of, you know, stick my leg over here in this gap, Try not to smush it in like the cables, but you get what I'm saying. This tip might not apply to too many of you, but I always do this shit. Fuck. Fuck. Okay. And with that, hamstrings is fucking complete. I'm gonna go get a little sip of water and jump on the leg extension, get warmed up. I don't know, maybe it's because I fucking slept a ton last night, but I'm feeling fucking strong. So that's not a cue for me to do a weight that I can't handle. But, you know, I warmed up half the stack, couple reps, sat for a minute, do a little more, a little more, a little more. And not even purely just for like quad activation, but if I were to just try to jump straight into this much weight, you know, even though I'm sure I could do it without getting hurt like muscularly, like if I were to jump into a heavy bench out of nowhere, I'd definitely be concerned. But I'm sure I could throw this much weight up and down and have no issue with like my quads, but my knees would be on fucking fire. You know, you gotta fucking warm up to this kind of shit. Same with triceps. If you've got sore elbows, but you just jump straight into your heavy pushdowns, dude, just sit for like 10 minutes. Lightweight single arm. Just get some fucking blood flow in the area, get some tension built up, and then you'll be ready to actually push some weight. So same logic here. And now, I mean, double leg, the only thing I'm gonna fucking think to myself is to go crazy. So let's sit here for a while. Come on. Oh, couple more of those. I'm gonna start feeling pumped. Fuck. So that was obviously not a set where I was thinking to myself, okay, do slow, controlled, really squeeze at the top. That was just all out fucking throw this shit around, which I obviously have no issue with that style of set. But I do like a little bit of a mix. I'm not gonna do every set just like that. But in the beginning, I'm fresh. I feel like I'm gonna get a solid pump, or at least work towards it in the quickest possible way. Well, not quickest, that's not the point, but in the best way for me by starting off with shit like this. And then maybe towards the end, I could drop the weight in fucking half and do slow, controlled reps. But I'm not going anywhere for a while. I'm sitting here for, fuck man, maybe even 6 more, honestly. Leg extensions probably make up, fuck, at least 80 to 85% of my quad work. And clearly they're doing something. But let's say you spam leg extensions for a whole year, you don't see any quad gains. You probably got to maximize pressing, or maybe do them in a different way. You know, you got to remember like I give tips and shit, but for the most part, I'm just saying what I like to do. So you got to figure this shit out on your own. Fuck. Holy shit. Whew. Dude, I love leg extensions. Okay. So, let me say this quick little chat. It gets easier to go hard. The longer that you lift, that level of exertion that you're able to reach on a set by set basis, it will gradually increase. But I think a lot of people get stuck in the state of just doing lifts with the same intensity that they've been doing for months or years before. So no wonder the majority of people in the gym, after their initial phase of, initial progress, I think they just fucking stagnate because they're not pushing themselves as hard as they need to. It's not hard to sort of think you've plateaued if you're not getting any results. Like, to maintain the exact same state, if your goal is to progress, like if you're in the same fucking level of everything, strength, size, whatever, or body fat, let's say you're trying to trim down and you're trying to change, but you're not seeing any results, clearly something in your whole, setup of performance metrics, be it sleep, food, training style, training intensity, everything, something's off. So, never think that you're a fucking perfect lifter. I don't even think I'm fucking halfway to perfection, not even close. You can always dig deeper, even if it doesn't feel like it. Or you can always do things better. So it's in your best interest to just, try to go crazy as possible. At least in terms of the sets you're doing in the gym, if you catch my drift. But let's listen to some more Rock Lee hard style and get some more of these sets going. Okay. I think just a few more, and then I'll add in some sissy squats as a drop set. Okay, I lied. 2 more double leg burnout the fuck like crazy, and then I'll finish with 3 sets of lighter weight, squeeze, control it, and then I'll stand right up and do some sissy squats. Okay. All right. Let's drop the weight and do some squeezing reps. Okay, so I definitely don't need this fucking plate anymore. Jesus. I'm gonna drop the weight into even a little less than half the stack. And I'll probably do 5 reps on the right leg, then do 5 on the left. And go back and forth until I burn out. And then stand up and do some sissy squats. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, one more. Oh, God. Okay. All right. Let's go check the quad pump. Okay. Exposure turned slightly down. I think we should have some freaky lighting right here. But just by feeling, like standing, not even flexing, like, dude, the quads are stiff. And then flexing, ooh, rock fucking hard. So that was a badass leg day. On those leg extensions, I felt like I was fucking pushing myself. So I'm definitely proud of those sets. Now I get to sit here and fucking look at the pump. It's perfect. So let's see what's going on underneath the pants. I'll just fucking take them off, whatever. Okay. Whew. The quads will gradually get veinier and veinier. Always a nice thing to see. So I've talked about this before, but I like lifting with a pump cover. I like, probably subconsciously, I feel like it might distract me a little bit looking at myself while I'm lifting. You know, I've kind of heard the argument like, oh, well, you want to see your muscle firing so you can squeeze it harder. I don't know, man. I'm not so sure. Honestly, for me, I think it's mainly just a feeling thing. But let's hit a couple of flexes. Ooh. Do a little breath hold to really get the veins popping. Holy shit. Oh. You gotta be careful when you're doing the fucking breath hold when you're flexing at the end of your lift. It's like, let's say you're doing the most muscular, you just got a chest pump. So you take a big breath, and then you just fucking squeeze your torso and you're flexing like crazy. You could fucking pass out. I mean, I've literally had moments where I could kind of feel myself get a little dizzy. You know, that's why fucking people pass out after deadlifts. Just because, like, the blood pressure, something about the circulation. So, don't flex so hard that you fucking end up on the ground. But it does make you a little bit veinier just for a moment. It's kind of tricky doing the side chest pose because you want to relax your hamstring. Because if I flex my hamstring, it kind of like shrinks in. Like I'm trying to keep it super soft so I can smush it up against my other leg and make it widen up. A little bit of just a bodybuilding posing insight. But yeah, I mean, by now hamstrings are pretty much probably less than fully pumped. There's still some shit going on back there, but you know, nothing crazy. Honestly, hamstrings don't even get that crazy when they're pumped up. I mean, I guess you have like, if you have freak level hamstrings, then a hamstring pump could probably be pretty frightening. But for me, I find they're just there. They're not small. They're not insane either. Hamstrings will get cool if I get super lean, because then unpumped, you'll be able to see all sorts of crazy shit back here, like separation and whatever. But when you pump them up, same with your quads, a lot of the cuts will just sort of blur out. Like, if you flex your quads and you're lean as fuck, and you're pretty muscularly developed, you should start to see some kind of striations in the muscle, some shit like that. But if you go hit a crazy leg day and you pump them up, some of that stuff is just kind of blur together, just because there's so much blood at once. But that's the goal, so that's perfect. Not really a critique, more of just an observation. But even though legs are done, legs are not done. Because I'm still going to do calves and adductors. So I think I'll do adductors first. So I'll record just one set of each, because at least with the leg extensions and the hamstring curls, I feel like those sets are pretty fucking intense. So I want to, clip all of them. But with the adductor sets and the calf raise sets, I mean, really, I'm just gonna fucking be sitting there. Honestly, with the adductors, I'm not doing a ton of weight. I'm really just getting some fucking like groin activation. So I'm just gonna be sitting on my phone, fucking in and out like this. Calves, I'll put the phone down because I really want to fucking squeeze it. But I'll just show one. And then we'll come back here for the calf pump. You're, you're not even gonna be able to fucking tell there's an adductor pump. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, that was a fucking badass leg day. The more often you can finish a lift and say to yourself, I pushed myself fucking hard today. That was badass. Dude, come on. Is that ever going to be a bad scenario? Like, let's think about this from extreme states. On one extreme, you get to say, wow, I had a fucking shitty lift. I didn't go hard at all. Ugh. And then the other extreme, holy fuck. I might have gone too hard today. Jesus. Obviously, well, okay, I guess the real extreme is, wow, I didn't fucking go hard at all. That was fucked. I didn't even push myself at all. And then I guess the other extreme is, wow, I fucking ripped both quads off because I did too much weight. That was way too much. So maybe don't go that far on this side, but just lean towards the hard side. Come on. Let's cut to a set of adductors, a set of a set of adductors, a set of calves. I'm gonna do 8 sets of each, but I'll just show one, and then we can come back for the calf pump. So let's do a pre-calf check. So let's see what we're looking at. So there's the left one, there's the right one. Let's do a quick little side view. Oh, that's kind of cool too. You can sort of see some lines in the front. Badass. Yeah, okay, so pre-calf chuck, blah, blah, blah. Free, I'm really having a fucking aneurysm right now. Pre-calf pump check. Now let's skip ahead to the other shit and then come back. All right, 7 more. All right, exposure, yeah, down just a tad. There. All right, so calves are now fully pumped. Let's fucking take a look. Leave the pants on. We'll just roll them up. There we go. Let's see. It's been fucking like, I don't even know, maybe like 2 months since I've even had a calf pump. I've been skipping them like a total fool. I mean, not like they're small, but come on, they need to be fucking hit. So, are they bigger than a moment ago? Oh man, just squeezing them fucking hurts. I think that, yeah, we had some size difference. More separation to come as we get leaner. But let's get in the fucking car. So that was confirmed a badass fucking leg day. There's nothing else to say about it. So, just a protein shake tonight. Had a few extra carbs during the day. I don't want to push myself over the limit. At least not too much. My pre-workout meal ended up being a bagel with a little bit of cream cheese on it, plus a can of chicken. So, just a scoop of the hostile chocolate. But let's just slam and get out of here. You're definitely going to want protein throughout the day, but typically I would prefer to have a little bit of carbs post lift, just to replenish some the little bit of glycogen I got floating around while I'm cutting. Much easier to get down when it's just a little shake. But let's freaking get out of here. There's yeah, I mean, we already fucking covered it. Freaky leg day. Just time to get home, eat a little bit of something something. Probably, I'm not even sure. I think I've got egg whites. Maybe I'll make a little omelet. Oh fuck! Did I need fat-free cheese? Shit. I got fat-free cheese for my house, but that's like my fucking family house, not my not the one that I'm at now at school. Shit. I didn't realize it was so fucking hard to find too. It's kind of fucked. Let me try to adjust the brightness without fucking crashing my car. Ain't good enough. So, legs smashed, calves, adductors, they are going to be in the fucking routine from now on. What else? Oh yeah, so shoulders and forearms. Those are also getting thrown in. Shoulders is going to be after chest. And forearms, I don't know when I'll throw forearms in. I'll have to see. I will have to see. But, you know, when I'm cutting, I want to stimulate all the fucking muscle all over my body. Just to potentially mitigate, well, to mitigate any potential atrophy. Not that I'm really concerned. I mean, I'm not going starvation mode level calories, but, you know, you got to use it or lose it. I think there's some serious fucking legitimacy to that sort of statement. So, yeah, I got a bunch of Gatorade Zeros when I went to Kroger earlier today. So I like having some shit just in the car whenever I'm fucking thirsty. So I'll just sip on this for a little bit. So it's an abhorrent hour of the night. I took a long time to get started. Had to do a little pre-legs bathroom break, and then honestly, I can definitely tell with leg day when I'm dieting. I like to take a little bit longer in between sets than usual, just because I want to, you know, be like guaranteed fully recovered from the last set, or at least as much as I can be within reason, so I can still throw around enough weight to have a solid set. Or no, so I can still do a set with enough intensity that, you know, I'm happy with it. You know, I can like I was in there for a freaking while, but I didn't do any more volume than normal. You know, I did the same 11 set workout for hamstrings and quads. I guess calves and adductors I only did 8, but you know, honestly, the number itself isn't. It's not that important. I'd be the same fucking size I am now if this whole fucking last bulk I was doing 10 reps or 10 sets, maybe even fucking 9 sets. You know, I'm definitely. I've got that little itch in the back of my mind that's telling me I may be doing an unnecessary amount of volume per workout. Because you got to think. I mean, I make this same fucking analogy every time I talk about volume. It's gotta. I mean, just thinking about it logically, it has to look similar-ish to a bell curve. If you do 0 sets, you make 0 fucking gains, obviously. And if you go into the gym every fucking day, you do an infinite amount of sets, you're not gonna make any gains because you're gonna be burning off so many calories. It's just not. It's too much. Infinite sets is overtraining. I think it's a pretty simple idea. But I'd say the peak effectiveness, if your sets are legit hard, you're pushing yourself. You know, I'm not saying you have to go to like absolute failure, because that's kind of an arbitrary assessment of a set. But, you know, when people say train to failure, they're really saying just fucking really push yourself on a set to the point where you know, like, there's not much left in the tank. Because, I mean, what's the point of doing a set and then leaving reps on the table? I just can't sympathize with that training methodology. So, what was it? Oh, yeah. So, 0 sets, 0 gains, infinite sets, 0 gains as well. Somewhere probably around, you know, I usually say 8 to 12, but honestly, I think it's probably even lower than that. Maybe 6 to 10, 6 to 11. I feel like I've been doing 11 for a while just because I'm like, it's ingrained in my mind. I don't want to change anything up. But I think for the next bulk, I'm going to lower it and see how that affects me. But I'd say probably hard sets, legit. It's got to be somewhere within 5 to 12 for sure. Somewhere in there, if you hit a muscle about twice a week, 5 to 12 actual working sets, not including like warm up, nothing like that. I think somewhere in there is probably an ideal amount. Now, it's not like one number is going to be exactly perfect every day, but I've done workouts where I was kind of in a rush, like kind of a little bit further back. I mean, I'm just pointing one out as an example. I was doing arms and I had to cut biceps short, but fuck, man, I felt like I got a solid ass bicep workout, even though I only did 6 sets. And I mean, you got to think if you can make gains with 6, what's the point of doing 11, right? Now, I kind of like it, but you get the idea. You want to definitely, like, I want to do the amount of sets that I know is going to make me the most amount of gains for sure. And I'm not saying there's a huge difference, but says you know what I'm talking about. It's definitely worth considering, thinking about volume changes, and especially just changing up your training over time. I was kind of saying some shit like this earlier. Uh, the key to plateauing is to just go into the gym and do the exact same workouts with the exact same weight and the exact same intensity every lift for years on end. If you do that, you look the exact fucking same. Now, I don't think that is anyone's fucking goal. Unless, say, fucking maybe you're a beast already and you're just maintaining. Badass. But, assuming you're not, like, at your peak level goal physique, it's going to be in your best interest to go crazier and crazier on the intensity. Look up some fucking different training methodologies. Maybe talk to the big dude at your gym. Ask him if he knows any secret tips for training triceps or if he knows any badass drop sets for chest. This, that, and the other, whatever. And even if the shit that he tells you is like, you hear it and you're like, oh, that sounds fucking stupid. Hey, man, what happens when you try it and you're like, I have never been this pumped in my life? you know? A lot of shit, honestly, like, you could sit here and fucking listen to me talk about sets and reps and all this shit, but it's not going to be as valuable to you specifically as information or just experience that you get in the gym from trying new shit out. You know, just by like explanation and like just word of mouth is almost I mean, okay, not incomparable, but it's not even close to the amount of fucking you get what I'm saying. It's not the same as just going out there doing it yourself. Because I could sit here and tell you, oh wow, the squeeze on these cable presses is insane. I'm feeling my fucking upper chest. Well, I mean those are just fucking words. That means nothing. Now, if you go into the gym, you try it out. If you like it, then hey, fuck yeah, badass. And if you don't like it, you can say, hey, well, shit, man, it does not work for me. Try some other shit, right? Basic idea. You're definitely not gonna. Well, what I'm really trying to say is like, I've said this before too. This is not a new thought, but figuring shit out yourself is going to be the best method possible for honing in on a routine that's going to work for you. Unless you got a badass coach. I mean, I'm kind of anti-coach. I like doing shit all by myself, but I definitely like trying to fucking gain info from whatever source I can get a hold of and try to apply it to myself and see if I like it. But maybe you got a badass coach. He's telling you all. He's looking at everything about you, your progress. Hey, fuck yeah, badass. But I think for most people, the best method, if they're actually fucking motivated to go to the gym on a consistent basis and just keep trying to learn new shit and try new shit and go hard, hypothetically there's a specific trajectory which is just absolutely perfect for you. Like, when I say trajectory, I'm talking about reps, diet, sleep, sets, whatever, your workout split, and like you're never actually going to reach it. You're never going to reach the perfect training routine. But if you constantly try new stuff and then adjust accordingly based on whether you liked it or not, then you'll be able to fucking adjust, and then eventually you'll start to get on that path where you'll see gains, you know, and that could be fucking considerably different than the guy next to you. You know, there is no one way to skin the cat of getting fucking jacked. That is that is certainly an idea that will do you good to be able to understand. So I mean, that's freaking all I gotta say. I'm gonna go home, eat a very protein heavy meal because I don't have a lot of calories left. I'm gonna stick to the 2,500 for probably another, I don't know, maybe another week or so. I may raise it though. I may raise it if I start to feel like, okay, this is not enough food. But you know, I always drop my calories down in a cut because I mean it's just a short break between bulks. So it's worked in the past. But again, even me, I gotta be open to fucking new ideas. So more leanness to come, more pumps to come, fucking more everything to come. God damn it, I'm out of here. Cardio in the morning. I'm doing it. We'll just leave it at that. I'll see you next time.